Have you ever laid in bed at night, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling, wondering why your body feels tired but your brain just won't quit? You check the clock. It's 2:13 a.m. You toss, you turn, you fluff your pillow. You even try counting sheep. But instead of drifting off, your mind drifts back to old memories, unpaid bills, doctor's appointments. And then you glance at the time again, 3:47 a.m. You finally fall asleep, only to be woken up an hour later by a stiff back, a full bladder, or the faintest sound outside your window. When morning comes, your body feels like it never truly rested. You drag yourself out of bed, legs aching, eyes puffy, and your first thought is, will I ever sleep well again? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. In fact, after age 50, sleep doesn't just get lighter, it becomes unpredictable, fragmented, and sometimes frustratingly out of reach. But what if I told you that the problem isn't always age? It's what we eat. Yes, really. See, most people think of sleep as something controlled by bedtime routines, like turning off screens, darkening the room, or playing soft music. And while those things do help, the real foundation of restful sleep starts long before you hit the pillow. It starts in your kitchen, your dinner plate, your evening snack, even your choice of tea. I know it sounds almost too simple, but once you understand how certain foods affect your brain, your hormones, and your nervous system, it all starts to make sense. There are real foods, everyday foods, not fancy supplements or expensive products, that gently, naturally help your body remember how to fall asleep and stay asleep through the night. And tonight, I want to show you exactly what those foods are, how to use them, and what to avoid if you want deeper, longer, more peaceful rest. But before we dive in, let me ask you, have you ever had a night where you did everything right? You avoided screens, didn't drink coffee, maybe even meditated, and you still couldn't fall asleep? If that's ever happened to you, please let me know in the comments. You're not alone, and sharing your experience might just help someone else feel less alone too. Now, here's what's really exciting. The foods I'm about to share don't just help you sleep. They can help your body reset its rhythm. They can lower your stress hormone levels, ease anxiety, and even reduce the kind of internal inflammation that quietly disrupts your rest. These are the same foods that helped Rosa, 65 years old, retired nurse, go from waking up 6 times a night to sleeping through until sunrise for the first time in years. They helped Martin, 67, ex-firefighter, get off sleep medications entirely. And they've helped thousands of others just like them. So stay with me until the end, because not only will I show you what to eat, I'll also tell you when to eat it, what to combine it with, and what common mistakes to avoid that might be undoing all your efforts. If you're ready to reclaim your nights, feel more energized during the day, and maybe even look forward to bedtime again, let's begin. Most people think poor sleep is just a part of getting older, like gray hair or slower joints. It's just how it is, right? That belief has been around for so long, it's almost become truth. But what if I told you that's not entirely true? In fact, a growing number of researchers, doctors, and even older adults themselves are realizing something eye-opening. It's not your age that's stealing your sleep. It's your habits. And sometimes, the ones you thought were helping might actually be hurting you. Let's take a simple example. Decaf coffee. How many times have you heard someone say, "Oh, don't worry, it's decaf. Totally safe at night"? But here's what no one tells you. Decaf still contains caffeine. Yes, even the ones labeled 100% decaf can have up to 10% of the original caffeine left inside. Now imagine this. You're in your 60s or 70s. Your body is more sensitive than it used to be. Your nervous system doesn't bounce back quite as fast. Even that tiny bit of caffeine could be enough to raise your heart rate, delay melatonin production, or keep your brain just alert enough to make it harder to fall into deep sleep. But it gets even trickier. It's not just the caffeine in decaf, it's the ritual. You see the smell of coffee, the feel of the warm mug in your hands, the taste that's been etched into your brain over decades, it all sends a powerful message to your body. It's time to wake up, not wind down. Your brain forms associations over time. It learns, when I taste coffee, I get ready to work, I pay bills, I drive, I talk. So even if the caffeine is low, the habit itself could be triggering your brain to do the opposite of what you want. Stay alert. And this isn't just about decaf. There are plenty of other habits, small ones, that feel innocent, even comforting, but quietly sabotage your body's natural ability to sleep, like eating healthy fruit late at night, not realizing some fruits spike blood sugar and cause 2 a.m. awakenings, like taking iron supplements after dinner, not knowing that too much iron at night can suppress melatonin, not boost it, or like using chamomile tea bags, without realizing that the way you brew them matters far more than you think. We'll get into all of that soon. But here's the bottom line. Your body wants to sleep. It's designed to. The issue isn't that your body is broken or too old. It's that somewhere along the way, through stress, modern food, and well-meaning but flawed advice, it forgot how. And that's good news. Because it means you can remind it, you can reset it, and you don't need medication, fancy gadgets, or expensive supplements to do it. You just need the right signals. And that's where the foods we're about to explore come in. Because when eaten at the right time, in the right combination, these foods send a powerful message to your body. You're safe now. It's time to rest. It's the same message a loving parent gives a restless child. And your body, especially after 50, is listening closely for that kind of signal. So let's look at what those signals are, what foods send them, and how real people are using these simple changes to enjoy deeper, more consistent sleep, without pills. Because sleep isn't just about rest, it's about repair. It's when your immune system resets, when your brain clears out toxins, when your body does the deep work of healing. And if you're missing that, it's not just your energy that suffers. It's your memory, your mood, your blood pressure, even your risk for things like heart disease and cognitive decline. But don't worry, just like bad habits can disrupt your sleep, new habits, small, easy ones, can bring it back. And we'll start with a woman named Rosa, who changed everything with just one banana. Rosa had always been a light sleeper. But once she turned 65, her nights changed completely. She didn't just wake up once or twice. She woke up every hour, sometimes from a dream, sometimes for no reason at all. Some nights she'd lie in bed for what felt like an eternity, her legs twitching, her thoughts spinning like laundry in a machine. She tried everything: sleep masks, earplugs, essential oils, even prescription sleep pills that her doctor said were safe. But nothing gave her the rest she truly needed, the kind that leaves you feeling whole again when the sun rises. Rosa wasn't just tired, she was disheartened. One afternoon, while sitting in her small garden with a warm mug of chamomile tea in hand, she told her neighbor Sarah, "I feel like I'm never truly here during the day. My eyes are open, but everything feels foggy." Sarah, who was a few years older and known for her steady energy and sharp memory, just smiled gently and said, "Have you ever tried eating a banana before bed?" Rosa laughed. "A banana?" Sarah nodded. "Not just any banana, a ripe one, slightly spotted. With a warm oat milk pudding if you like." Sarah explained how bananas helped calm her restless legs at night, how the magnesium and potassium soothed her muscles, and how the B6 helped her brain produce more serotonin, something she'd read about in a little sleep book her daughter had sent her. Rosa didn't expect much, but that evening, around 8:30 p.m., she ate one small banana, just as Sarah suggested. The next morning, something odd happened. She remembered her dreams. That might sound small, but for Rosa, it was everything. She hadn't remembered a dream in months, maybe longer. Encouraged, she tried again the next night. This time, she paired the banana with a small warm bowl of oatmeal and almonds, the kind of comforting, creamy blend that reminded her of breakfast from her childhood. Within a few days, She started sleeping in longer stretches, 3 or even 4 hours at a time without interruption. After 2 weeks, she noticed something else. She no longer woke up with that dull pressure in her chest, that quiet, anxious buzz that used to greet her before the sun. And after a full month, she realized something she hadn't felt in years. She looked forward to going to bed. No more dread. No more, will tonight be another fight? Just peace, a sense of safety, a routine that her body had begun to trust. Rosa didn't stop there. As she learned more, she began to add cherries to her evening smoothie. She swapped her store-bought chamomile bags for dried loose flowers and brewed them gently, just like Sarah taught her. And when she felt adventurous, she even tried making sauerkraut, her hands massaging salt into cabbage, her kitchen filled with the quiet joy of doing something good for herself. One day, she shared her story at a community wellness circle. An older gentleman asked, "But how do you know it's not just in your head?" Rosa smiled. "Maybe it is in my head," she said. "But that's the whole point. These foods calm my head, and that calms the rest of me." The room nodded in silent agreement, because truthfully, everyone there had their own quiet war with sleep. Rosa's story was more than just about bananas or almonds. It was about remembering that rest isn't something you force. It's something you invite. And sometimes, all it takes is the right foods, prepared with care, eaten with intention, and repeated with love. We often think of sleep as something that just happens when the lights go out. But the truth is, deep sleep begins long before your head hits the pillow. And more often than not, it's not what you're missing. It's what you're doing wrong that silently erodes your rest. Let's uncover some of the most dangerous, yet surprisingly common sleep mistakes many people over 60 still make. When relying on safe decaf coffee. After dinner, Rosa used to end every evening with her favorite ritual, a warm mug of decaf coffee. She believed it was harmless. After all, it's decaffeinated. But here's what she didn't know. Decaf still contains caffeine. Not much, but enough for someone over 60 whose liver metabolizes slower than it did decades ago. Worse yet, many decaf coffees are processed using chemicals like methylene chloride, a substance shown to interfere with neurotransmitters that help regulate sleep cycles. And that's not all. The habit itself, warm mug in hand, the aroma of roasted beans, signals the brain to prepare for mental activity, not sleep. For Rosa, it meant her brain stayed alert long after her body wanted to rest. The fix. She replaced that habit with chamomile tea brewed properly, steeped long, covered, and made from whole dried flowers. Within a week, she noticed the difference. Less mental chatter, quicker transitions into sleep. Eating high-sugar healthy snacks at night. Many older adults crave something sweet before bed. They might reach for fruit juice, light cookies, or even dried fruits like raisins and dates. While these snacks seem innocent, they spike blood sugar, leading to a crash just hours later. That dip can trigger cortisol and adrenaline, waking you up around 2 or 3 a.m. For Martin, this meant regular night awakenings paired with mild anxiety. Once he replaced those sugary bites with a bowl of oatmeal topped with a few walnuts and cinnamon, he not only stayed asleep longer, he also felt calmer upon waking. Taking iron supplements in the evening iron is important, but timing is everything. Few people know this, but too much iron in your bloodstream, especially at night, can actually suppress melatonin production. That's what happened to Joyce, a 70-year-old who took her iron pills after dinner, thinking it was the best time. Instead, she unknowingly disrupted her body's natural sleep hormone rhythm. Her solution? She moved her supplement to lunchtime and felt a noticeable improvement in how quickly she fell asleep by week's end. Mismatching sleep-boosting foods with sleep blockers. Imagine someone eating kiwi or almonds before bed. Great choices, right? But if they pair them with chocolate or a glass of wine, they're unknowingly undoing the benefits. Foods like dark chocolate contain caffeine and theobromine, both stimulants. Wine, though relaxing at first, leads to disrupted REM cycles and early morning awakenings. Case in point, David, a retired teacher, thought a glass of red wine and dark chocolate was the perfect reward after dinner. When he swapped them out for kiwi with soaked almonds, his night sweats decreased, and so did his 3 a.m. awakenings. With preparing chamomile tea the wrong way. Most people have heard of chamomile for sleep, but very few prepare it in a way that actually works. Take Margaret, 74. She drank chamomile tea every night, but still struggled to fall asleep. Her mistake? She used cheap tea bags, steeped them for barely 2 minutes, and poured boiling water directly onto the flowers. Chamomile's key sleep compound, apigenin, is fragile. Too much heat destroys it. Too little steeping time means it never gets released. When Margaret learned the proper way, cooling the water slightly, using dried whole flowers, and steeping for 10 minutes with a cover, her bedtime tea finally started to help. Within days, her tossing and turning reduced dramatically. Eating dinner. Too late or too heavy. In many households, especially after retirement, dinner can creep later and later. Sometimes it's not until 8:30 or even 9 p.m. For someone younger, this might not be a big deal. But for adults over 60, late or heavy dinners create digestive distress, and that disturbs sleep. After a hearty steak or spicy meal, your body works overtime to digest food when it should be winding down. This triggers nighttime acid reflux, bloating, and even subtle heart palpitations. Joseph, 69, thought his nighttime indigestion was just aging. But when he moved dinner 2 hours earlier and chose lighter meals, like soup, grains, and steamed veggies, his sleep deepened almost immediately. 7. Watching TV or news right before bed. Even though most TVs have a night mode, the combination of bright light, rapid dialogue, and emotionally triggering content, like the evening news, stimulates the nervous system rather than calming it. Many older adults fall into this trap out of routine. Just one show before bed, they say. But what they don't realize is that it's not the blue light alone. It's the emotional tone, pace, and rhythm that tell your brain to stay alert. Shirley, a 66-year-old widow, found herself staying up until midnight watching true crime stories. Her heart rate stayed elevated well after the TV was off. When she replaced her nightly viewing with a warm shower, dim lighting, and classical music while sipping her chamomile infusion, she found her first full night of sleep in weeks. Ignoring stress eating patterns. Many older adults don't realize that the foods they crave when stressed, like chips, pastries, or processed cheese, don't just comfort them temporarily. They elevate cortisol, your stress hormone, which suppresses melatonin. Eleanor, 72, often reached for crackers and cheese while reading before bed. She said it helped her wind down. But those salty, processed foods were doing the opposite. Once she became aware and switched to a bedtime bowl of oatmeal with banana and cinnamon, her cortisol markers, checked during a wellness program, dropped, along with her nighttime awakenings. Each of these habits may seem small, but together they form a barrier between you and deep rest. The good news? They're all easy to change. And the even better news? You don't have to rely on willpower or strict diets, just gentle swaps, a bit of awareness, and a few new habits your body will soon come to love. There's something comforting about finding a solution not in a pill bottle, but on your plate. And as we've seen, food isn't just fuel, it's communication. It tells your body when to be alert, when to slow down, and when to rest. Let's explore 7 powerful foods that speak to your nervous system in the language of peace, repair, and deep sleep. Bananas, nature's gentle sleep switch. Rosa's journey began with this humble fruit. What makes bananas so special? They're rich in magnesium and potassium, 2 minerals that calm muscle activity and help release physical tension. But the star player is vitamin B6, which supports the conversion of tryptophan into serotonin and eventually into melatonin. This cascade helps you relax emotionally and physically, setting the stage for sleep. How to use: eat 1 ripe banana, lightly spotted, 1 hour before bed. For deeper effect, blend with warm oat milk into a simple pudding or smoothie. Feeling adventurous? Add a dash of cinnamon and a few soaked almonds. Pro tip: greenish bananas add resistant starch, which feeds good gut bacteria linked to better sleep. Almonds, the silent sleep guardians. Almonds do more than provide protein. They're a rich source of magnesium, vitamin E, and healthy fats that support blood sugar balance, key to avoiding 3 a.m. wake-ups. Almonds also help regulate cortisol, your stress hormone. By gently lowering it, they quiet the mind and ease you into deeper sleep cycles. How to use: eat a small handful, 8 to 10 almonds, an hour before bed. For better absorption, soak almonds for 4-6 hours beforehand and peel the skin. Make homemade almond milk blended with a pinch of cinnamon or nutmeg. Pro tip: combine with oats or banana for a calming combo that lasts through the night. Cherries, the ruby red reset. Cherries are one of the few fruits that contain natural melatonin. They also have anthocyanins, antioxidants that reduce inflammation and promote brain clarity. Think of them as a cleaning crew for your mind. How to use: eat 10-15 fresh or frozen cherries 1 hour before bed. Avoid dried or sugary versions. They spike blood sugar and disrupt rest. Blend into a smoothie with oat milk and banana for a sleep-inducing evening treat. Real story. After adding cherries to her nighttime snack, 70-year-old Nancy said, "For the first time in months, I didn't wake up sore." Kiwi, the serotonin superfruit. It may be small and fuzzy, but kiwi is packed with serotonin, vitamin C, and fiber, a trio that enhances sleep, digestion, and emotional balance. Kiwi also helps regulate oxidative stress, which is often behind foggy mornings or poor memory recall. How to use: eat 1-2 kiwis with skin, if you can tolerate it, about 45 minutes before bed. Pair with banana for a powerful serotonin boost. Try in a creamy smoothie with warm oat milk or almond milk. Pro tip: scrub the fuzz and eat the whole kiwi. The skin has extra antioxidants and prebiotics for gut health. Sauerkraut, the gut-sleep connection. It might surprise you, but your gut plays a big role in how well you sleep. That's because much of your body's serotonin, the calming chemical that eventually becomes melatonin, is made in the gut. And fermented foods like sauerkraut help nourish the good bacteria responsible for this process. But there's a catch. If consumed the wrong way, sauerkraut can do more harm than good. How to use: eat just 2 to 3 tablespoons of raw, unpasteurized sauerkraut at least 2 hours before bed. Always pair with a healthy carb, like brown rice or oats, to support digestion. Avoid mixing with wine, cheese, or heavy meats. They can create digestive turmoil. Real story: Alan, 68, used to wake up flushed and itchy. It turned out to be histamine sensitivity from combining sauerkraut with wine and cheese. Once he adjusted his meal, his symptoms vanished. Pro tip: if you're sensitive, try just a teaspoon to start and watch your body's response. Oatmeal, the comfort food that calms. Most people think of oatmeal as a breakfast food. But in truth, it's one of the best evening meals for promoting sleep, especially for older adults. Why? Oats contain magnesium, zinc, and complex carbs, which together lower cortisol, relax muscles, and maintain stable blood sugar overnight. Oats also contain a natural sedative compound called avenin, which helps ease mental chatter and nervous tension. How to use: cook 1-2 cup of rolled oats in warm oat milk or almond milk. Add soaked almonds or walnuts, a few banana slices, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Eat about 60-90 minutes before bed. Real story: Doris, 73, switched her evening toast for this warm oatmeal bowl. Her nightly bathroom trips decreased, and she started waking up feeling like she slept for real. Chamomile, the ritual that teaches your brain to sleep. Chamomile isn't just a tea. It's a powerful signal to your body that the day is done. Its magic lies in apigenin, a compound that binds to calming receptors in the brain, much like mild anti-anxiety medication, but without side effects. However, most people never prepare it correctly. How to use: use dried whole chamomile flowers, not cheap tea bags. Steep 1 to 2 tablespoons in hot, not boiling water, about 175 degrees Celsius. Cover while steeping for 10 full minutes to trap essential oils. Enhance it. Add lemon balm, passion flower, or a teaspoon of raw honey. Drink 30-45 minutes before bed with lights dimmed and no screens. Real story. After switching to this method, Walter, 75, said, "I didn't just fall asleep. I wanted to sleep. My body was ready." Walnuts, the brain's sleep superfood. Walnuts are shaped like little brains, and they work like brain food too. They're rich in omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, which your body needs to produce melatonin naturally. Even more amazing? Walnuts contain preformed melatonin, meaning your body can use it immediately. They also provide tryptophan, magnesium, and blood sugar balancing fats, making them one of the most complete sleep foods available. How to use: eat 4 or 5 walnuts, preferably soaked for 4+ hours, 1 hour before bed. Combine with kiwi or banana for maximum effect. Try in a bedtime oatmeal bowl or simple fruit nut mix. Real story. Martin, 67, began sleeping through the night, sometimes for 7 to 8 hours straight, after adding soaked walnuts and kiwi to his dinner routine. Each of these foods is gentle, safe, and deeply effective when used with intention. No pills, no side effects. Just nature helping your body return to its natural rhythm. So, what if tonight could feel different? What if, just for one evening, you replaced your usual bedtime snack with a bowl of warm oatmeal, sprinkled in cinnamon, added a few walnuts, and paired it with a gently brewed cup of chamomile tea? What if your body, after years of struggling, started to recognize these signals? Signals that say, you're safe, you're home, it's time to rest. You see, sleep isn't about force. It's about remembering. And the foods we've explored tonight, they're not magic, but they are messengers. They remind your nervous system how to soften, how to slow down, how to let go. And while these shifts might seem small, one banana here, a few almonds there, when repeated with care, they create a rhythm your body will start to trust. You deserve that rhythm. You deserve rest that feels whole, not the kind where you wake up more tired than when you went to bed, but the kind where your body repairs, your mind clears, and you open your eyes feeling ready again. Rosa, Martin, Doris, Alan, they're not exceptions. They're reminders that your body still knows how to sleep. It just needs a little help. So here's my invitation. Tonight, just try one thing. Swap the wine for warm tea. Trade the cookies for cherries or banana. Give your body a whisper of the rest it's been craving. And if it helps, even a little, I hope you'll share your experience with someone else who needs this message. Leave a comment. Tell me what you're going to try first. Or share this with a friend who's been struggling. Because better sleep isn't a luxury. It's your birthright, and it's never too late to reclaim it.